Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. Today, we are going to be jumping into a $10 Draftkings best ball draft, and we're going to come in with a little bit of a strategy here, and we're going to go with the zero running back challenge. That's right. I'm going to be taking wide receivers for as long as I can stomach. Let's see what happens. So the contest has filled, and wouldn't you know, I actually have the first pick of this draft, which I have not had in any of my 9 best ball drafts, I believe. So we're going to get the first look at Justin Jefferson. This will be my first and only exposure to Justin Jefferson so far, so I'm excited about that. And we'll keep rolling. We'll see what happens. We are going to just try to load up on receivers, and we'll talk about why that's important in just a little bit. So as these picks are going in the first round, I will go ahead and explain why we are doing this. There's a lot of research and analysis out there that you can find, but the bottom line is DraftKings point scoring rewards wide receivers more than any other position. DraftKings is a full point PPR, whereas sites like Underdog on Best Ball only offer a half point. Running backs also tend to get injured more than wide receivers, and the game, the NFL, football, has changed, and receivers are becoming more important to offenses, and they are getting more targets, more looks than the running backs are. So we are going to try to just load up on receivers. My goal, and I know you don't go into these drafts with a goal, but my goal is to try to get eight receivers in a row. So I just want to say I did it. All right, and there's nothing else to it. So we will go ahead and wait for our pick to come back around and see who's available. Coming up on our second pick here, we saw 2 quarterbacks go in the second round, which has been pretty normal. 3 running backs here, which helps us. So if we look at the best available receivers, Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley, T. Higgins, Metcalf, Allen, Debo, Cooper, and Judy, all at the top of the board here. Another quarterback goes with Josh Allen. I expect this guy to go another receiver. I think he'd be foolish not to. So we will see what he decides, and that's going to leave us with the opportunity to grab 2 pretty decent guys. Devontae Smith. Okay, so we're going to go with Calvin Ridley and T. Higgins here, and feel pretty good about that. This is going to leave us open to draft potentially Kirk Cousins and Trevor Lawrence as we move on in the draft. I don't think we're going to get Joe Burrow. He's not dropping that far. And there's a chance neither of these quarterbacks drop that far either, but we'll cross our fingers. So it's looking like Ryan G33 here is the other guy who's gotten the memo. So far, he has pulled off the zero running back strategy 4 in a row with Diggs, Adams, Allen, and Hopkins. So we'll see who can outlast who in this wide receiver palooza. Be interested to see if this guy goes with Joe Burrow here. Seeing that I have T. Higgins, he has Jamar Chase, he may think I try to go for Burrow, and he grabs him in front of me. So to be expected there. I'm actually going to go with Terry McLaurin here, given his upside as the main guy. And I hate Christian Watson. I don't love DJ Moore. I have a ton of exposure. Drake London, I think Bijan Robinson gets a lot of the looks. Brandon Ayuk. I'll go with Watson just because I don't have a ton of Watson anywhere else. And he's not a guy I usually draft, so I guess it'll be good to have some exposure to him here. So we got the wide receiver group, me and Ryan, and we got John here, who's just going running back hero, loading up the running backs. Let's see, he can't go 5 in a row. There's no feasible way this guy gets 5 running backs in the first 5 rounds and has any sort of shot in this league. I mean, I guess if me and Ryan are content on drafting receivers, it leaves the running back position open. More guys are falling to you. This is absurdity, okay? 5 running backs in a row. Good luck to you, C. John. So Trevor Lawrence goes off the board. We would have liked to see him fall a little bit below that, but it's reasonable that he goes there. So we can't pair him up, but we do have some other options. And okay, so Ryan finally cracks and drafts a running back here with Pierce, which means I will be the longest wide receiver drafting monster in this draft. So we do have an opportunity at Jordan Love and at Kirk Cousins, which feels good. So we will hope that they fall deep into the double digit rounds, but these drafts can be kind of spooky, so who knows what we will see. Coming up on my sixth pick here, looking again to go some wide receivers. And I'm catching a bit of a break with a lot of these guys going running back. I mean, John and then Franklin, both with red helmets. Thank you guys so much for that. Hopefully he goes another running back here and just try to balance. Yep, he does. He's trying to balance out his team, which helps us immensely. So we're going to go with Pickens. And, call me crazy. Oh, I don't love what the Colts have done in the offseason. John Dotson with McLaurin. Brandon Cooks. I'm actually going to go Cooks here. I think he has the most upside with Dak, and I think it opens up hopefully an opportunity to take Dak, but I've got to do it soon, I'm sure, because he's probably, yeah, so we'll cross our fingers once again. So unfortunately, Kirk Cousins goes at the 8-9. We were not able to grab him, and I only lasted 7 picks. The receivers left did not tempt me in terms of value. I don't want to roll the dice on Odell Beckham at his age and in that offense. I don't know who's going to emerge in Kansas City as the guy. Rookie quarterback here, throw into Nico Collins. Bateman's out. Lazard's got a couple guys in front of him, although I could make the argument that his chemistry with Rodgers would have been a plus side. Williams is out 6 games. Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley could have been a nice pairing, but I felt like that was a bit of a reach at that spot. Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe. The farther I looked down this board, the more I just could not bring myself to grab 8 in a row. So we went with 7 in a row. I think Dalvin Cook offers tremendous upside if he can go to a team where he immediately jumps in as the starter in the 8th pick, almost a 8th round, almost a 9th round. And we do secure Prescott, which feels great to pair up with Brandon Cooks and potentially, we may be able to get our hands on a Michael Gallup or even a Jake Ferguson down here. I hope not a ton of guys are going for Jake Ferguson. We already know that Dallas loves the tight end with Dalton Schultz. So hopefully, they trade him. They have confidence in Ferguson, and we're able to get Ferguson to pair up with Dak. That would be awesome. So we'll hang tight here, and we'll see what happens when it comes back around for my 10th pick. Coming up on my 10th pick, I probably should go running back here. I think Damian Harris could be in a good spot with Buffalo. I think that Mitchell or even Williams could steal some carries, and I think there's a pretty big drop off after that. So I am gonna go ahead, just making sure. Harris is down here. I'm going to go ahead and grab Williams just because I think he gets a lot of goal line action. And, Zay Jones is still on the board. And we know that he produced well last season with Trevor Lawrence. So him and Ridley, hopefully in an offense that turns it on this year in a division that's pretty easy, I'll make that bet. Something interesting to note is stacking, and I know I've been talking about trying to stack QBs that pair with receivers on my team, But when we started this, I thought Ryan G really knew what he was doing, getting Diggs, Adams, Allen, Hopkins, and Lockett to begin with. And then his quarterbacks make no sense. He gets Daniel Jones, which I guess has some rushing upside, but no Giants to speak of on his team. And he gets Anthony Richardson at this spot, I suppose, another rushing upside quarterback. But again, no one to pair with either of those two. So I know that's not necessarily something you have to follow, but it's typically a good idea. And it looked like if anybody in this draft knew what they were doing, it was Ryan G. And Ryan G, you let me down, pal. Unfortunately, Franklin here, pick after in Pino, took Elijah Mitchell. It hurts a little bit, but we will continue to press on, and we will probably go with, golly, maybe KJ Osborne is worth a look just because we have Justin Jefferson. So we'll go ahead and grab KJ Osborne and be done drafting receivers. We have plenty of receivers on this team, and by plenty, I mean 9. So we are rolling with 9 receivers and 3 running backs right now, as well as Dak Prescott. And I think that is a good enough, groundwork. No pun intended. Our groundwork looking a little rough here. So we'll grab a few more running backs in these next 2 spots. Maybe grab a Kenny Pickett or a Jordan Love or a Sam Howell later on. We probably want to get 2 of those 3 if possible, just given that we probably want to have 3 QBs with this. Jordan Love, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray all off the board. Hopefully this guy does not go Kenny Pickett here and allows us to get Kenny Pickett, which would be nice to pair with George Pickens and would make me feel solid about our QB situation. Not great, but just why, bro? Why? Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. All right. So we will go with Singletary and we'll go ahead and I don't want to do I really? Nope, don't do it. And Jerome Ford. And maybe people will be shy on Elliott and we can get him back around. I don't mind Chuba Hubbard either. We know Cordell Patterson can do what he needs to do. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a bad pick. So there's still some receivers left on the board. That QB pick stings a little bit, and I should have probably taken a QB at that turn regardless. I'm not going to have a lot of options looking forward. We'll try to go. I mean, as far as starters go, we got these guys left. So we're going to have to probably grab 2 of these guys and hope for the best everywhere else. Coming up on my 16th pick, I'm probably going to have to grab Howell here just because he is listed as the best available. And, the next guy who wants a QB is probably going to take him. So we'll grab him, and I do like Chuba Hubbard in this spot. Again, a guy who is going to be battling the Philly guy. What's old boy from Philly's name that just came over? Miles Sanders, which was Miles Sanders all that impressive? I think he worked on that team, but I don't know. I'm okay with taking Chuba here, and I think he could steal some points from Miles Sanders this coming season. So I do need a tight end. I'll probably go 2 tight ends. Holy cow. Only got 3 picks left, no tight ends. Um, ooh. Mm. Jake Ferguson is off the board here. 4 picks before me, which really puts me in a bind. I cannot sugarcoat it, lie, or tell you anything other than we may be out of luck. I may have just screwed myself over completely in this draft because of my inability to take a tight end earlier. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go with Noah Fant just because we know he will get some action. And you know what? Maybe we go Logan Thomas just because uh, we have the upside with Sam Howell. And we'll see what happens. I hate it. I don't love any part of it, but it is what we have available to us. In the last pick, I will probably go quarterback or tight end. Um, Quarterbacks available that tempt me are, whew, um, none of them. Maybe Peyton Hendershot. Maybe has some touchdown looks this year. We know Dallas likes a 2 tight end set. Maybe he takes Jacob Ferguson's job. We'll see what happens. Believe it or not, my last pick was going to be Kenyon Drake, and now I can't do that. So we're going to go up here, and we have 10 seconds, and we are going to grab Jelani Woods. So that does it for our best ball draft no running back challenge. I think what I learned is it's tough to go into a draft with a strategy. I think as the draft progresses, it's best to adjust and make your strategy as the players come to you rather than forcing yourself to go after the players. So will I do that again? The answer is if it fits the draft. You know, we'll take it for what it's worth. I think we'll be okay. But after all, I think the biggest thing we can learn is don't go in with a strategy, play the strategy as you go in, or something like that.